they'll just come get you.
Someone asked, how am I able to get to you on the outside without completely shutting my own matrix off? And that's a very good question. I had to go back and forth in my own journey a couple times on this. I was realizing that I didn't want to fully exit. There was a few things, a few, people, places, like you see me going to the gym and whatnot. I had spoken about this a while back on being able to leave the matrix and then come back, but that's only after having gone through the exile, that inner death of your old identity. And so, to answer your question, let's just be completely real. There's been a couple guys that I've wanted to date, and they've been interested in me. But they can't get to me without the full surrender. So there's this cute little movie that I remember growing up with called All Dogs Go to Heaven. The female dog has crossed over, and she's like this ambassador kind of guide for all of the souls that are passing through. And she's trying to explain to Charlie that, and Charlie's like this rebel dog that's trying to kind of break the rules. He's not trying to die, he's just trying to go back to his old self and not see the other side. That angel dog, that lady dog, she was like, no, that's not how it works, Charlie. She's like, you can never go back. And then she starts singing to him. She's like, everything's all good over here.
She's like, it'll all be fine.
As long as you don't try to go back. And that's the same with exiting the matrix. You gotta die the death. You gotta let go of those ties, those certain people that give you access to certain resources. There's some things that you got to do, like pay off debts. Financially, becoming sovereign is not easy, and that's a big part of be able to have more freedom, living within our means to the point where we're in charge of our time. When you do make that leap and you become more sovereign, you have successfully exited the matrix, like you're living self-sustainably. You either stay in the old matrix and you play the game, or you exit and you create a new game in which you can sneak back into the old matrix. Now that's some advanced stuff. My job now has become to be that ambassador. I definitely have seen the other side. I know what it's like to not be supported by the third dimensional matrix. I know what it's like to go outside of that system, but I came back in to create a different form of the 3D matrix, something that I want to simulate. Now you're watching my YouTube. That's an example. I really shouldn't be here. I should be unbeknownst to you, sequestered somewhere far away. But I'm not, because my mission from spirit, from God, my higher self, was to go back in and to create a new matrix. The hardest part is really just letting go of your old self. My old self, she was a partier, but she was, living that dream. I had dinner parties and happy hours, and I freaking raved and drove all fast in my Beamer, neon lights, but it got to the point where it didn't suit my soul anymore, and I had to extricate myself from that mold. I became who I am now, the new version of Danielle, and yet I can now go into those areas. If I want to go to Scottsdale and go to a club, I can wear my sunglasses at night, okay? But I'm still awake. There's still this truth to my being that doesn't taint my soul anymore. I'm now the creator of what I want to do in the Matrix. So the thing is, like I said, the advice is to just altogether find your sovereignty. That's the goal. Then you can worry about that steak, that juicy steak, and in my case, that gym. Those things that were very ingrained in my old identity. I can now go do that. And yet I'm not bound to that. I'm not held to that. There's not like a handler making me do that. There's just me living this new enchanted dream in which the Matrix is kind of like a helper. It almost gets to the point where you just let it work for you, like money in the bank. You let it gain interest. You let, YouTube send out your posts. Mr. Smith, he becomes your employee. You're the boss. The Matrix really does want to work for you. These systems that are operating, they're going to start to work for you. I get why someone might not want to leave. It's difficult. You really have to have your own little life raft.
Jesus Christ.
It gets fun once you can tread that water.